Hi guys, I'm Ella from Dig Deep with Gardening for Life. Welcome to our Dig Deep garden. I'm currently sat upon an oak log that we felled from a huge tree a while ago and lay here for the kids, and I'm planning my day in the garden. This morning I just have a small project. I'm going to edge a flower garden that I created a little while ago. I made a video of the flower garden, I'll put a link in the description, and I will be using some really awesome rocks that I got for free. Anybody that knows me personally knows I get really excited about rocks. I love me some rocks. I think my husband is sick of me showing up with yet another bootload of rocks that I've acquired from somewhere. One of my big principles that I try to stick to as much as possible is gardening for free or as free as possible. Obviously we want to garden in sustainable ways, and I firmly believe that for the majority we should be able to do that for free or as free as possible. In this particular instance, a friend's house, their rental property is being developed, and I asked the landlord what his landscaping plans were and if they included these rocks in this particular garden, and he just said they're going to go eventually and I was welcome to take them. I of course offered him some plants in return, but he wants to go concrete and grass. Told him if he ever changed his mind, I had him covered for natives and anything edible. But we'll see. So, where am I going to put my rocks and why? Here is our beautiful garden that not so long ago was just another patch of lawn. We've got a wee circle going on here. Oh, we're just stuck under this tree. It's a dead tree, but I've kept the structure of it because I quite like the aesthetic. Plus we have a swing seat hanging off there. Okay, back to the flower garden. This flower garden is filled entirely with free plants. So I have some cornflower seeds I was given. I have snapdragons that I've grown from seed. Oh, I tell a lie, my bulbs were not free, but they will pay for themselves in dividends. The dogs have done a little bit of digging here, which is part of why I want to edge it today. Obviously everybody's dogs are going to be different, but I find that if I keep my gardens tidy, for the most part my dogs keep off them. Very soon this garden is going to spring to life. We've got marigolds in there that I've put in from seed. There's a couple random self-seeded spinach. There are freesias, there's daffodils, there's at least 30 tulip bulbs in here. It is going to look stunning, but right now it doesn't. Right now it kind of looks like a bit of a mess. So today I am going to tidy up these edges, pull out the few weeds that have come through from under the straw. I'm going to put that bark back up onto the garden, and I'm going to put our rocks in place. Now this will be obvious to some and not to others. I have actually sprayed around the edge of this garden because I am dealing with cooch. This is cooch, if you are curious, and it is a horrible, miserable grass. That's one example of what it can look like. One plant can look very different from one end to the other, and this is it here. This is what I've sprayed. Now I haven't actually addressed this in any of my videos, but I'm not one that sprays a lot in my garden. I wish my garden were organic. It isn't, but it's damn close. All I spray is around the gardens. I would never put any sprays near my food, and that's just my personal opinion. You do what works for you. But I've spent too many years battling this, and as you can see in this dead piece of cooch here, it's got really successful roots at every single node. So to get all of that out by hand is an extremely time-consuming and laborious task. And I actually did do a huge portion of my garden by hand and dug the soil like you would not believe. Absolute huge portion, we're talking meters and meters squared. But I just simply don't have the time to be doing that all over. So unfortunately I sprayed, but it is what it is. Quick little mid-video disclaimer, I'm a breastfeeding mum and sometimes I'll stop in the middle of my videos to do that. All part and parcel of the job, am I right? Right, at the beginning of this video I told you that I am going to tell you why I'm going to edge my garden. You might be able to see behind me in the background there, I've actually used some large lime rocks and some scoria, which is a red volcanic rock. Not that I've gone out and purchased these things because they're pretty. They were things I got for free. And I asked online for them. I went to a local page and I said, hey, has anybody got something like this? This is what I'm looking for. And all I had to do was go and pick them up. So definitely, if you are looking for something in your garden that you don't have or don't feel that you have access to, whether that be financially or whatever, ask. You just never know what you might get. Don't ask, don't get. Okay, so why? There are lots of reasons that somebody might edge their garden. I'm going to do it today because I want that clean separation look of what's garden and what's not. Again, as you can see behind me, I like that look, that manicured look. Some people don't, and that's totally fine. At some point I'll have it covered in herbs and everything else, and it will be a manicured wild garden. I want the best of both worlds. So that's part of it. It also helps to preserve the soil structure or shape of the garden, which of course is ideal, especially when you've got dogs that think that they can walk over it. Although, as I've said, once I've edged it, I'm quite certain that they will stop doing that. And then finally, and this is my favourite one, it lowers the maintenance required for that garden. So less work. Don't get me wrong, I love weeding. I find it therapeutic, but I don't want to do it every day. I want to do the fun stuff in my garden, you know? But this is the fun stuff. This is the landscaping, that applying the artistic touches that really make it a garden, that bring it together, make it more like paradise. And for us, I've said this loads of times in our videos, for us it's about making it fun for the kids as well, although the rocks hopefully will keep the kids off the garden too. But it will also make it, you know, a bit more like a little fairy garden for them, so just adding that extra element. And for me, natural is always the way to go, so rocks is ideal. Okay, let's get into it. Time to get off, little one. Okay, let's get into it. Hi. Alright. Hi. Time for everyone to get off, Mum, so I can do some work. Ta-da! So, I told you, boatload of rocks. I've got to take these bad boys out of their bags so that I can use those for my groceries. I had to be creative with how I was going to get them because the car's still a little bit dirty and scratched from last time I got rocks without something to put them in. Did I mention that my husband's sick of me getting rocks? I'm going to put them into my really cool trolley. Mine's a little bit broken, but it has been thrashed. This bad boy cost me $109 from my to 10, and it's rated, I think, to 250 kgs, which we're talking quarter of a ton I can put in this little trolley, which is excellent. And if I had kept it inside a shed, which I never did, then it probably wouldn't have that plastic degradation at the front there. But that's okay, it doesn't affect the use. Love my trolley. Especially when it's full of rocks. Wow, I'm really impressed with that haul. I just wanted to draw your attention to a couple of things. So there are a couple of weeds growing in the rocks. I'll just keep an eye on that, and that there is just some roots from the agapanthus that were in the garden that I've nabbed these from. Just be really conscious when you are taking rocks like landscaping materials or plants or anything from somebody's garden. I always do a really thorough check that I'm not bringing home weeds that I don't already have. I actually got the 𝔬╗ I mentioned, the red volcanic rock, which has a similar kind of texture to this, i.e. it has lots of great crevices for weeds to grow through. I just left it in a bucket of water for a week, and that way any weeds that were entangled through the rocks, which were many, they just rotted away. So easy peasy, solution sorted. Just quickly, we do have a few different types of rocks in here. Some of them look like river stones or beach stones that have just been worn away by the ocean. And there's some limestone in through there as well. So we should end up with a really cool aesthetic. Okay, I'm going to drag this bad boy over there. Check it out. Oh, the wind's already dumped leaves back in there. That's alright. So I've given it a bit of a weed, obviously. You would have seen me with the scissors. And I've kept this guy. Kind of unearthed him a wee bit. I think it's just cool little feature piece, and I'll use the rocks to accentuate it, and probably at some point plant something in there that again doesn't draw away from it but accentuates how cool it is. So that is it tidied up. Now we get on to our rock formation. I'm very excited about this. Ta-da! How great does that look? Oh yeah. I'm really pleased with that. You would have seen as I was weeding earlier, oh, I just have to duck under here, that I was putting a lot of bark back onto the garden. It was coming off with the wind, with the kids, with the dogs, everything. This will stop that from happening, which I'm really excited about, and eventually the garden will kind of level itself out to being level with those rocks. I've obviously run out, so unfortunately I will need to come back out here at some point. I often leave gaps like that because, as the old saying goes, a satisfied need does not motivate. So in order to motivate myself, I might just leave that blank. We will see. I'm really pleased with it. Don't know what you guys think. Tell me what you think. If you have any ideas for me, please, by all means, tell me what you think. I'm currently walking around in the spitting rain with my hand on the extension because my phone was running out. And I'm going to stop videoing very soon and go inside. It's cold. But I'm really pleased with the outcome from today. Really pleased, and when that grass creeps back toward the edge the way that we want it to, it will be wonderful. At some stage we will be giving this peach tree a more stable and permanent home. We'll give it a really cool, funky, probably from free materials, frame to be espaliered on so that we can control that shape and retain as much of our yard as we can. I'm very excited for springtime, when this beautiful garden springs to life with the rest of the garden. It will be a little patch of colour and joy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I know I sure did. A bit of googling here and there. If you know a better way of doing what I've just done, an easier way, a more creative way, a different way, different is always good, then by all means please pop a comment and tell me what you've been doing. Hello dogs. Oh god, no, enough. I'd love to learn from you guys. The reason I do these videos is because I love learning. And to become the best student is to become the teacher, right? Teaching information is solidifying information. So teach me, tell me your information. It's only going to benefit us both. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.